and howdy. Welcome to the third video of English Out and About. In this video series, we will explore different places in the United States, and along the way, you will learn English. If you already know some English and you want to improve, you are in the right place. My name is Jane, and I will be your guide. Mystery reporter Maggie and field reporter Francesca will show us different parts of the United States, and English teacher Tina will explain some of the trickier aspects of English. In this week's episode, we will be on location in Salem, talking about gender equality and the language focus of the past tense. Idiom alert! Each week, I will share a common idiomatic expression, and then you can listen for the phrase and how it's used during the rest of the episode. Have you heard the expression to march to the beat of a different drummer? It doesn't refer to how someone marches in a parade or plays the drums. It means to act in a way or have beliefs that do not conform with mainstream society. Another word for this kind of person is a disruptor, or someone who challenges the status quo. In today's episode, I want you to pay attention to the people mentioned who are disruptors or who march to the beat of a different drummer. And now let's go to teacher Tina, who has today's language focus, which is pronouncing verbs in the past tense.
Hi everyone, I'm teacher Tina. Welcome to today's show about pronunciation of the past tense. This can be very difficult for English language learners because there are three different sounds that the endings make. D sound in changed, t sound in helped, and ed sound in resulted, t, d, ed. All right, now let's look at these three verbs and try to see if we can see a pattern. Want, need, vote. Want, need, vote. That's right, they all end in a t or d sound, T or D. Want, need, vote. Now let's listen to the way the words are pronounced in the past tense. Wanted, needed, voted. Do you notice the rule? That's right. Whenever a word ends in a t or d sound, a T or a D, we pronounce the second syllable ed. Wanted, needed, resulted, voted. Whenever the word does not end in a t or a d sound, it's not pronounced. Easy, right? Well, that's all for now. Back to you, Jane.
Thanks, teacher Tina. I never knew that rule about forming the past tense. Speaking of the past, we're ready to head over to field reporter Francesca, who is reporting from Salem, a place with an interesting and controversial past. As you listen to her report, try to find the answers to the following two questions. What is Salem famous for? What recent movement has continued the fight for gender equality and social justice? Over to you, Francesca.
Thanks, Jane. I am thrilled to be coming to you from historic Salem, Massachusetts. Salem, Massachusetts is a vibrant city with a colorful history. In the United States, Salem is well known for the witch hunts and witch trials that descended upon the community in the 1690s. The practice of naming people as witches and killing them corresponded to what was happening in Europe between 1300 and 1600 CE. It resulted in the execution of thousands of people, of whom the vast majority were women. Many of the accused women were described as outspoken, confident, and not afraid to express their opinions. Some of the women were targeted because they chose to dress differently or they seemed to march to the beat of a different drummer. Many of the persecuted women were the most vulnerable, poor, enslaved, and without resources. And we might like to think this is all in the past. When we listen to stories from older relatives, we know that yes, times have changed. However, the recent Me Too movement has highlighted persistent injustices that continue to exist. People in the U.S., Latin America, and all over the world are continuing to speak out for women's rights and gender equality. This is Field Reporter Francesca signing off. So long, farewell, and happy trails.
Thanks, Field Reporter Francesca. Did you hear the answers to the 2 comprehension questions? What is Salem famous for? Salem is well known for the witch hunts and witch trials in the 1690s. What recent movement has continued the fight for gender equality and social justice? The Me Too movement. I don't know about you, but I heard a lot of past tense verbs in that last segment. Let's go back to Teacher Tina for a quick review.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Whew, that was a lot of past tense verbs. Do you remember the rule? Whenever a word ends in the sound t or d, a t or a d, then we pronounce the second syllable ed. If a word does not end in a t or a d sound, then we don't. Think you got it? Let's practice. How would you pronounce the verb accuse in the past tense? Accuse. Would we say accused or accused? Accused or accused? Did you guess accused? Correct. The verb accuse does not end in a t or a d sound, a t or a d, so we do not pronounce the ed syllable. Ready for another one? Let's go! How would you pronounce the verb thrill in the past tense? Thrill. Would you say thrilled or thrill-ed? Thrilled or thrill-ed? Did you guess thrilled? Correct! The verb thrill does not end in a t or a d sound, so we don't pronounce the ed. Thrilled. Number 3, how would you pronounce the verb vote in the past tense? Vote. Would we say voted or vote? Did you guess voted? Correct! The verb vote ends in a t sound, so we pronounced the ed syllable. Do you remember the rule? Whenever a verb ends in a t or d sound, we pronounce the ed syllable in the past tense. Voted. If the verb does not end in a t or a d sound, we don't. So easy. What a great rule. All right, that's all for today. Have a great time. See you next time.
Thank you, Teacher Tina. Speaking of the past again, we are now going to mystery reporter Maggie, who has been making connections between the past and the present. Over to you, Maggie.
Thanks, Jane. After listening to field reporter Francesca's story about women who marched to the beat of a different drummer in the past, I want to share with you some women I've been reading about who challenged the status quo and became change agents. You know I love mysteries and riddles and puzzles too. So I've got a puzzle for you this week based on the women I've been reading about. I'll give you some clues. Are you ready? Here's the first one. She is known by her initials, RBG. She was a member of the Supreme Court. As a lawyer, she fought for gender equality. Do you know the answer? I'll give you a little more time. And one last clue. Like me, she also liked to accessorize. Did you guess Ruth Bader Ginsburg? If so, you're right. All right, are you ready for the next one? She is from the South Side of Chicago. She earned her law degree at Harvard. She is a style icon. She was the first African American First Lady. She is married to the 44th president. Did you guess Michelle Obama? Some people think she's even more popular than her husband, former President Barack Obama. Back to you, Jane.
And now for our final minute, we want to share images and quick facts about 5 U.S. states. This week, we are featuring the states of Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. Now, teachers, remember that there are additional resources that you can use with your class that are linked below the video. And students, make sure you check the links for extra practice. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next week when we visit the Midwest state of Indiana.